Many manufacturing processes are not continuous but have a definite start and end. These are commonly referred to as batch processes. Each batch is typically assigned a number. SpecView has a unique batch tag feature that assists in retrieving data records by searching for that batch number. This feature is an optional attribute of a SpecView text user variable. Once turned on, SpecView will automatically timestamp the start and end of the batch. There are 3 steps to setting this up in SpecView. 1. Create a text user variable. 2. Tell SpecView it is to be a batch tag. 3. Add it to a screen so the batch numbers may be entered. To create the text user variable, open the variables list, click the plus sign by user variables, double-click on text, and enter the name for the batch tag. You then need to set the properties of this variable. Click on the Properties button, select the Batch Tag tab, and put a check mark by Batch Tag. This will tell SpecView to timestamp the value whenever it changes. Lastly, drag it onto the screen, and you're ready to go. Now we have the batch number on the screen, let's see how to use it. First, click on the text variable and enter the batch number. This can be any combination of alphanumeric characters and special characters. Next, let's run our batch. Click the Run button and the process starts. While the process is running, let's look and see how we can search for the batch numbers. The batch number can be searched for with either the log reports or the optional historical replay feature. Let's look at log reports first. Go to the logging menu, convert log file, and we see the log report setup box. Find batch number is on this box. When we click the search button, it will tell us what batches we have in our records. You can have multiple batch numbers running at the same time. Here we see the one we've just started. There's the batch number we entered, start time, and it's still running. Similarly, for historical replay. History, enter historical replay on this GDW. Click Other. And again we have the Find Batch Number button. Same result as before. We can select it and we'll be able to see later on how this shows up when we do historical replay. Close down historical replay. Now we're coming to the end of the batch. At an appropriate time, you need to delete the value for the batch number. This is done by just selecting it, backspace, and sending a blank value. This tells SpecView that the batch has finished. If you change the batch number to a new number, it ends the first batch and simultaneously starts the second batch. Now let's see how we do a review of that batch. Going to History first, enter Historical Replay, Other, Find Batch Number. We now see that our batch has started, stopped, and this was the duration of the batch. We have an option here to rescale the trend chart to include the whole batch on the one chart. It may be that this is quite a long process and only a 30-minute chart, and you want everything condensed onto one chart. When I click Select, the batch replays and pauses automatically, leaving the screen as it looked at the end of the process. If I click on the chart, I can say Print Chart, print the whole screen, or just the chart to a JPEG file. And this tells me that we've successfully printed to this file name the whole screen. Closing out of Historical Replay, going back to Logging, Convert Log File. In the Log Report Setup box, find Batch Number. There's our batch. This time we have an option to force the CSV file to the same name as the batch number. I click Select and then Generate, and it's created the file for me.